Hi guys, welcome to Charities Bible USA, your #1 channel. I hope you're doing fine. I hope you're doing fine. I'm gonna do a video. Like I said, I'm gonna be doing my videos in transit when I'm coming out of school, or when I get time, because I have to kinda dedicate most of my time around where I'm going. I'm going home. To dedicate my time on my schooling so that I do good. So thank you for watching the video that was yesterday. So this one is gonna come out here in a little bit, and I want to talk about 3 things that popped up there, because I know everybody is anticipating about the DV lottery. Some of you have applied, some of you have your fingers crossed about winning the DV lottery. And what I know is that you can win the DV lottery. It's very easy for you to do that. So this is downtown. I am in downtown, and I'm driving back home, and there you can see some people there. Those people are homeless. So I'm going home right now, and I want to talk a little bit about some of the things that came up from that video. But before that, I want to thank you, subscriber, for subscribing to my YouTube channel. We are almost 9,000, guys. I really appreciate all your effort and everything that you have done to support my YouTube channel. I do not take it for granted. I'm amazed, guys. So if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly consider subscribing. Always like my video, you know what I mean? Just give it a thumbs up, make a comment, ask a question, anything. And that's how we roll, guys. And I just want to thank you for watching my YouTube channel. Now, there's this person who was asking about military, and they are single and they have children. Now, when you have kids, and that's how I take it. For me, I believe that I am the only person who can take care of my children the best. I have my kids ages from 21 to a 3-year-old. And I do not know what would make me leave my children behind because of a career or for anything. Because you find that the DV lottery, when you understand it better and you have a family, it's a family thing. There is no way that you are gonna divide. So let's assume you have won your DV lottery, you have kids, you want to leave them behind in your country, and then you want to come in to pursue an ambition. Now, when you are a parent, for me, I believe, like, when you're a parent, your kids come first. You have to do all you have to do, but with the consideration of your children. And you find that coming to the US can be a little bit challenging, especially if you're single, but people still survive with their children. Because, like I said, when you come on, normally what happens is that after you win the DV lottery, of course, you will require a host. And a host is something that is very crucial. You have to get a host. It's very important for you to get a host. So it depends on your relationship with your host. Because one thing I know is that when you talk about daycare, when we came in, I do remember I wanted to go do my CNA and all that, and my husband had gotten a job. And so I really needed to go to do my CNA, but my Christine was 4 years old at that time. And I do remember walking to a daycare and asking about the price. And when I went to inquire about the price, it was so high. It was very high. And we couldn't afford at that time. But that is not to discourage you. You find that there are some people who, like the Kenyan community, whereby maybe the grandmother had come to visit, or maybe they have come. For example, there was a time that I had invited my mom when I had my baby and she was at home. Sometimes you find that if you know that person very well, and the Kenyan community, they normally they get to know each other. People from home. Even when you go to the supermarket right now and you find someone from Kenya, you will just know that that person is a Kenyan. Like, there's something about the Africans from home, like, you just know that that person is a foreigner, that they were not born here. So you find that you will get to know people. And you find that there are groups which people join, and in those groups is where you get help, because you cannot say that you're going to leave your kids back home and because you want to come and join the military. No, it doesn't work like that. And of course, if you want to leave your kids behind, or you want to separate your family members because you want to come into the US, sometimes you will not get that visa. So what I would recommend, and like I said, like right now I am living with Anne. She won a DV lottery. She's single, and she came with her daughter. So ask your host how if they can help, or ask like how can if I don't have money or whatever, does maybe the Kenyan community, how do they where can I get, because I know there are some people who they take their kids to some family members. Even there are some still in the Kenyan community whereby you can find that someone, like, they are not going to work. Oh my God, they're not going to work. So what happens is that they are home. Like, for example, right now I'm home. Although I'm going to school, there are times that I will be home with my children because I'm not working full time. So you will make friends, and maybe those friends, they can watch the kids. But when it comes to the military, that is totally different, guys. Because if you want to enlist like fully, you have to go to the camp for some time, and you cannot leave your kids behind. Because here it's not like the way in Kenya, you can leave your kids just like anyhow. No, you cannot. You cannot. You have to be, like when you come to the US, what happens is that the custom that we are accustomed to back there is very, very different. Because there you have your grandmother, you have your aunt, you have your whatever. So when you want to pursue a career like going to the military and you're single, it becomes difficult. I've seen people who have joined the military. And I remember I knew this couple, and the husband joined the military, but the wife had to stay at home with the kids. So that means that the whole burden was left to the husband to pay the bills and everything, and it worked out well because they had someone. And sometimes you have to make these sacrifices whereby you have to work together. So for me, saying that you can leave your kids behind so that you can come to the military, that's not viable, because you find that the laws are changing, especially when you come as a permanent resident. Normally what happens is that you have to be in the US for like, you can't be out of the US for 1 year. And I think that has changed. I was reading that it has kind of changed that you cannot be outside for 6 months. I have to verify on that. But so you can't leave them because you want to come and join the military. It doesn't work like that, because they have the same status as you. They are permanent residents. They will require to be here in the US. And you find that if you go and you extend that time that you maybe, let's assume it's 6 months or 1 year that you're supposed to be outside of the US, and then you come back, then you have to apply for a re-entry later, because you won't just come in and you have extended your time and you want to come in. There are laws to be followed, guys. And that's why it's good to go to travel.state.gov and read that information, so that you know this is what I can do, or this is what I cannot do. And what I normally tell you guys is that when we were coming into the US, it was a little bit different, because we didn't have anybody like would guide us and tell us, go to this website and find all that information. And you know, the African way is a little bit different. We are not used to finding information on our own. We are not used to like researching on our own. We are kinda, and you know, it's I hope it's changing, but we kind of tend to like to listen to what other people are saying. And that's why I say in my YouTube channel, I talk about it, but go verify, go read in the website, so that you can learn the information. Like how long can you stay outside the US when you're a permanent resident? Or can you leave your kids when you have won the green card because you want to go and join the military? So go read on that so that you can have a good answer. But for me, as a parent, as a, you know, as a mom, I do not know if I can leave my kids behind. I cannot. Like, I cannot. And it's not that I don't trust my relatives or anything, but I feel like when you have kids, God has given you that responsibility to take care of those children. And if they fail, God is not going to question your mom or your aunt or your sister or whoever. No, God is going to question you, because you are given that responsibility, but you chose other things over that responsibility. You don't want to miss the milestones of your kids, no. And you find that when you come to the US, there are so many opportunities. Even if you don't want to go back to school, There are so many opportunities that you can pursue. You can even just do a simple course like CNA, and you will get a job. You'll be able to take care of your kids, and you will be good. You can even work in a store like Walmart, like Dillon's, whereby the hours that you are working, they are corresponding with the time that your kids are in school, especially if your kids are in school. And then you will be back home with your children, because here you have to be one-on-one with your kids. Unless you have a lot of money, which you are not going to have. You are not going to have like so much money when you come in, because like I said, you always start low. So it's very, very important for you guys to know that. And I hope that I am talking to someone when I talk about this, because you cannot leave your kids behind. I do remember when we were coming in, we had a big challenge of a host, and I've talked about that before, because our initial host, we were supposed to go to California, but then our initial host, he refused to host us. And we had to like scramble and, look for another host. And thank God we found someone, and he agreed to host us. But I do remember before that host refused completely, he had said that either me or Francis, one of us come to the US, and we leave the other members behind. So if I was to come, I was supposed to leave my husband and my children behind, or if Francis was to come, he was to leave the kids and me behind. But we don't operate like that. It's either all of us are in together or all of us are out. So we couldn't, you know what I mean? Because initially, the agreement was that guy was supposed to host us. And he had agreed, and he would call us every day and tell us that, the way he was going to host us. But the moment we got a visa, he refused. But we made that choice. We were like, we have to get a host and go together in the US, because you don't want to leave anybody behind. You want to be with your family members. You want everybody to be included. So I wouldn't advise someone who is single to say that they are going to leave their kids so that they can come and join the military. No. Come with your children and start life with your children. They want to learn the American culture. They want to go to schools in the US, which is very good. They get a lot of help, and at the end of the day, when you have kids, what you look at is their future. Are they going to have a good future? Because you find that here in the US, when your kids finish school, they have that opportunity. They can go to college, they can get a job, and they can work at the same time they are going to college. So it's good. I say it's good because I have my friends back home, and some of them have kids who are the same age as Eric, and those kids are tamaking. You know what I mean? But I do remember my son, he had a job when he was in second, I would say from 2, the third semester of Form 2, he had gotten a job in a restaurant. So he worked there for a while, for a few hours. He would leave school, and then he would go for 2-3 hours, and then he would come back home, which, it helps them grow. And even when he finished school and he's going to college, right now, he still has a job. So they don't tarmac unless someone doesn't want, unless you have not instilled to them values of working hard, because you have to tell them, work hard. This is what you do. This is how it's done. And I think for me, that is part of why I decided I wanted to go back to school, so that I could show my children that despite having them, despite being a parent, despite having the responsibility of taking care of them, I would still go back to school and do something for myself. So it's very, very important for you to think about your kids. So don't decide that you're going to leave your kids behind there and come to a foreign country. This is so many miles, guys. Even when you come here in the US and you want to communicate with people back in Kenya, sometimes it's hard, because when they are calling you or they want to talk to you, it's when you are going to work, or it's when you have just woken up, or maybe you are going to school or whatever. So the time difference is so, when here it's during the day, there it's during the night. So you do not want to miss your kids in that way. So you want to make sure that you have your children with you. So that one, I hope that that one is that's my perspective, and I hope that I am talking to someone when I talk about that. Now, there's another one who was saying about the DS260. Now, if you are new to this channel, and don't forget to subscribe, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget to like. Do not forget to make a comment or an emoji. It doesn't matter even if it's an emoji or a comment, guys. I'm looking at those ones, and I like that feedback. It really helps. So what I'm talking about is the DS260. Now, for those people who are new, when you win the green card, when you apply for the green card, go back. I'm gonna pin the video that I did about the DV lottery, and if you are new to this, you can watch there, because there was still another question about how can I win the green card. I saw that on my Facebook page. You find that when you win the DV lottery, when you apply in October, November, and then they close, and then you wait until May, you check online. Of course, remember we say that when you do your application, you have to have your confirmation number. Keep it safe, because that's the key for you to be able to get in and see whether you have won your green card or not. You have been selected. It's called selection. It's not winning. So when you check, you will have to, they will give you more instructions, further instructions on what to do. And that is where the filling out of the DS-260 comes on. So let's assume that you are single, you had applied by yourself. You just need to fill your own DS-260, and that's it. You don't need to add anybody. You cannot add people. Okay. Let's assume that you had filled out your DV lottery, and by that time in that process you are pregnant and you had the baby and you won the green card, and it's time to fill out the DS-260. You have to write to Kentucky Consular Center, KCC. Yes, you have to write to them and tell them about your change of status, because if you had a baby, you have the proof. Of course, you have to tell them the proof and everything of having a baby and all that. Then that's different, because that's a change of life. So you can do that. Now, if you had applied with your family, your husband and your children, it doesn't matter whether you have 10 kids or you have 1 children. For every member of the family, you have to fill out a DS-260 for them. Of course, the information overlaps, because if you have a spouse, you enter the information of the spouse and all that stuff, and the kids and everything. But the DS-260 is individual. It's an individual form that everybody who is involved has to fill out. And the same case, even when you go to the embassy, normally what happens is that when you look at the numbers that they are giving you, the A numbers, they give you for every family members. They are consecutive numbers, especially the last edge, the last number, the last digits are consecutive. So it's like if it's 59, 60, 61, 62. I remember ours were like that. So DV1, DV2, DV3, DV4, everybody has their own information. And even after you get your visa, they give you 4 envelopes that are sealed, that you cannot open. You can't open those envelopes. So what you do is that after you fill out your DS-260, you wait for them to send you the 2NL and everything. So everything is individualized. So when you talk about this question about people filling out the DS-260, remember that it's filled out for every member of the family. Because and like I tell you, here in the US, everything is individualized. Even when you have a baby, it's not like Africa, whereby you like everything is for, like if it's a family, like you are termed as a whole family, you know what I mean? Here everything is kind of individualized. That's how I see it, because even when you have a baby, the baby will have their own individual social, and you as a mom will have your own individual social and all that, you know. All that hadn't happened before I left Kenya, and so it's a little bit different, and your individual life is always different. Here, yes, you are a family setup, but everybody has their own thing, you know, has their own thing. So so the DS-260 is gonna be for every individual in the family. Now remember, let's assume like you applied for the the green card, and you applied for yourself, and you had a girlfriend. But you were just, you know, you're just doing it for the sake of it. You are not married or anything. You applied single. Now, you cannot add people. They don't like you to add people. Or maybe add other kids and say that, you know, unless you have legal documentation to show that this is a life change that happened. And you find that even after you have won your DV lottery, and let's assume like you are at the age where like maybe you can have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, maybe you are 25, 28, whatever. When you go to the embassy, most of the time they will ask you if you are in a serious relationship. And I think, you know, I've thought about that question, and I'm like, if you are in a serious relationship, that's okay, because it's normal and it's life. You would want to file for your spouse later. You would want to file for your spouse later. So let's assume that you said that you are in a serious relationship, you are not married, it's your fiancé, it's your girlfriend or whatever, and you say yes or no. it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, if it was a serious relationship, then you will want to pursue that relationship regardless of whether you came to the US, of which you're gonna want to call your partner. So if you had said that you are in a serious relationship and then you go back, you want to file for this person who you are in a relationship with, it's okay, because you know it corresponds. The information, you know, the information that you gave is, you know, it's flowing. But there is no way that you can go and tell them that you are in a serious relationship and then you get your visa or whatever, then you come to the US, and then 3 months later you are filing to say that you have a fiancé. No, that one is not going to work. So it's always good to be honest with what you're doing, but do not add people, because most people they're so scared, and they don't know what to say or whatever. Those people are humans. Just tell them the truth. You know, the truth always stands. Okay, the last question that I'm going to talk about is nursing jobs. There was another person who was asking me if you have nursing jobs in Kansas. Oh, we have so many, guys. Oh my gosh, we have so many nursing jobs. Like, if you're living in Africa right now, and you are starting to think of the career that you can do, I would advise you to enter into nursing school. I know it's hard. I've talked to people, several people are back there, and they tell me that nursing school is so hard. Yeah, it's hard everywhere, and it has to be hard because you're going to be dealing with life, individuals, and you know, a person's life is entrusted in you. So why wouldn't it be hard? You know, it's hard, guys. It's hard, and but you have to give it all. You know, give it all, and you know, pray hard. Ask God to help you, because you know, God helps people. If you ask something from God, God is gonna give it to you. Work hard, and if you have that, you have done nothing, and you are in Africa. There are agencies that help people out, and the people come here. They come here on a work visa, and they do very well. And those visas are good, because if you have a family, you came in with a work visa, maybe the agency brought you in. Of course, they will tell you their requirements and everything. You find that if you are a nurse, you are going to come with your family. So that's another way still that you can come to the US, because I believe that I talk to people who are even young, who have finished college, and they don't know what to do. You have that RN. Not CNA, not LPN. You are a registered nurse. Jobs are so many. Not even in Kansas, everywhere in the US. Like the nursing jobs, the nursing work is here in plenty. So if you are a young person and you're thinking like, what can I do? What can I do for my career? Or maybe you have those hopes of coming to the US, do nursing. You know, nursing is very marketable. Do it diligently, because it's a job that requires a lot of responsibility, a lot of humility, a lot of empathy. It requires all that. And I think for me, I think it's like a calling to become a nurse, because not everybody can become a nurse or a doctor or whatever. So if you have that opportunity, maybe you are an RN, look for those agencies. They're there. And that way you can apply. I'm not going to tell you that it's easy, because it's always hard to get an American visa, guys. It's not easy. And that is why I never take it for granted that we won a green card and we came here to live in the US. I have never taken it for granted, because I know that it's an opportunity of a lifetime. It is an opportunity that changed my children's life. Even if I don't do much in this world, I know that my children will have you know, if they follow the right ways, if they work hard, like they will have a better life than they would have had back there. And I'm not saying that back there is bad, but in terms of opportunities, I tell my children that they are very lucky. So guys, I wanted to talk about that. I hope that I have talked to someone about it. So your kids, always keep them close, guys. Keep them close. Do not pursue a career at the expense of your children. Don't do that, because when they grow up, they will question you. And we are living in times whereby, you know, when we were growing up earlier, I do remember very well that we could not question our parents. We never questioned anything, and anything that we were told, we did it. There was some disadvantages to that, but here, And I know even I have seen that things are changing even back in Africa. Here, when your children expect you to be there for them, if you are not there for them, then they are not going to be there for you when you need them. And they are going to question you, and they are going to ask you, and they are going to, they know this parent was interested. This parent was never there for us. And that's how it rolls. So guys, when you're a parent, it's a big responsibility. So take it, guys. So guys, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly consider subscribing. I want to go to the store and buy some milk because I don't have milk. And then I can head back home. So thank you for always supporting my YouTube channel. Keep it charities, Baba USA. Thank you and God bless you.